Welcome to pattern making class. I'm Annette Jolie, and today we're going to learn how to make a placket down the center front or center back of our shirt. You can start with this torso block set. You can also start with your basic bodice set too. Okay, you could also start with a kimono block set, casual shirt block set, etc. So I think I'll make a placket down the front. This could be applied to the back, but it is a little bit more challenging to button up the back of a shirt for yourself. So go ahead and cut yourself a length of paper and allow some in the front. Let's go ahead and grab a grain line. Get your bodice or torso block on that grain line. Go ahead and line it up, and let's weight it down. Now go ahead and trace off your neckline, shoulder, armhole, any notches that you're going to have for your side bust dart or armhole. Trace off those notches. Trace off your waist, and you got your hem. So this could be the start of your blouse. You can also go ahead and trace off darts and bring those through. So we've got all the tips. You can show yourself where you have those tips. If you can see some of them. If you can't, let's go back and remark them, right? Okay, here we go. There's a few more. And some of our darts. We've got a copy of our front torso, and now we want to make a placket. So a placket can be folded back or detached or hidden, but what we have to make sure that we're always aware of is where our center front is. That's the most important thing. We want to make our placket centered over the center front. So I always like to start with the most basic one, and this one is just going to be a fold back. So you can go from your center front in 1/2 inch. Okay, you can also go from your center front out 1/2 inch. So we're going to make a 1-inch placket, and we're making it centered over the center front. You can bring your hem out, and this is just the hem of your torso. I expect you to adjust this and change it for your design. This is just the neckline of your torso. I expect you also to adjust it and make it into your design. way too tight. You need to make a V or a scoop neck or open it up, raise it, make a built-up neckline, many different things. Okay, so this is the front now of your placket. Here's center front. We see it right on this line. And this is, when we look at this, we're going to see this as the front of our placket. Okay? Now, we need to make the back of this placket, and we also need to make the seam allowance. So we can just extend this the same 1 inch that we have, the full length, and now we're drafting the back of the placket. We've added 1 more inch, and now this is the back of it. This gets folded underneath, and we don't see it when we're looking at the front of the shirt. But we also need, for the whole design, we would need our seam allowance. So the seam allowance over here would be 1/4 of an inch on the edge of this fold back placket. So we're adding our 1/4, the full length. There we go. So here to here, 1 inch. That's the front. Here to here, 1 inch. That's the back. Okay? And here to here, 1/4 inch, and that's our seam allowance. This is a woven. This is not a knit. And then whether you raise the neckline and make a built-up one or lower it into a scoop, you still are going to need a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So let's just see what this would look like if we go ahead and cut it out and fold this back. Let's cut out your neckline, just a little bit of it, enough to fold it. We haven't put a hem on, but I'm just going to cut out a little bit of this to work with as well. And now we're going to do our full back placket. This is how we would sew it. We would tuck and fold the 1/4 inch seam allowance underneath. And you could also interface this whole thing. This would be 2 1/4 inches wide. You could iron on interfacing onto the back of your fabric. So you would first, before you would do the folding, you would press that 1/4 inch, and then you would press this over 1 inch, and this is the back now. We're looking at the back. And this is how you would clean finish the inside of your shirt by tucking, or blouse, by tucking that 1/4 inch underneath, doing an edge stitch all the way up and down, and then on the front, the edge stitch would come out right along here. Okay, you could do this for both sides, the right and the left of the shirt. Then on one side we would have button, and one side we would have buttonholes. And so we would end up with buttons centered right in the middle of our placket. So this is a fold back placket. And your interfacing piece can be a copy of from here to here, which I told you guys is 2 1/4 inches wide. And then you make it, obviously, the length of the center front. Always include the seam allowance with any interfacing piece you make. This is Annette Shui, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.